All right. Let me make sure I can go live on Twitch and Kick really quick, which I think I can. Actually, just bear with me. So yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm live on Twitch and Kick now. I'm playing some NCAA basketball 08 or not 08, NCAA basketball 10. Let me show y'all my schedule really quick. So we're playing if home games against Jacksonville and California, and then at Kentucky and at Alabama A&M. Then we're playing Washington, another home game against New Hampshire. Then we're playing at Wright State, at Arkansas Pine Bluff, at Dayton, at Baylor. And then a home game against Virginia and North Dakota State. And then our conference schedule starts. We're playing at Troy, then a game against Louisiana Monroe and North Texas and New Orleans. Then we're playing away at Middle Tennessee State, and then a home game against Troy. Home game against Louisiana Lafayette. We're playing at Western Kentucky, at Florida International, and at Denver. And then a home game against South Alabama, and then a game at our rivals Arkansas State. And then Florida International University and Florida Atlantic are coming home to play us. And then we're playing at Florida Atlantic, and then a home game against Denver. So we are in the Sun Belt Conference. In NCAA basketball 08, so we actually don't have a game until the second week of the season begins, so I did a bad job scheduling the games because I have a ton of games. I have two back-to-back away games, so I know in real life my players would be tired if they are traveling. So to Kentucky, and then to Alabama, but thankfully it's not far distance. It's not as far as like Dayton, Ohio to Texas, so I actually have four back-to-backs this year. And so let's do Dynasty menu, let's do coaching, roster management, manage roster. Um I am redshirting Gary Dickerson. So we're gonna have at least my created player start. He's the only one that's a created player. So we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna play against Jacksonville University in the Puerto Rico tip-off tournament. I don't remember if that's the official name of the tournament, but game settings. Let's leave it on junior varsity for now. And just to see how difficult it is. If it's a little too easy, then what I'll do is I'll switch to varsity. But it's been several years since I played NCAA Basketball 10. So this will be on my YouTube channel. If you're watching on Kick, it's the same name as my YouTube channel. It's the same name as my Twitch channel. If you're watching on Twitch, I will link my YouTube channel down below. And if it's under 2 hours, it'll be on Daily Motion as well, which I'll link down below. I'll link in chat. So if you're on Kick, my Daily Motion channel and my Kick channel, or my YouTube channels, are actually the same as my Daily Motion and YouTube channels are this. It's the same name as my Kick channel, spelled the same. So I don't have Kick open right now, and I'm using Restream, and for some reason they won't let me they won't let me. I don't know why, but it's just won't let me type in chat. So it allowed me to see chat, but I can't type in chat. So first foul for Kevin McRae. So our starting center. I'm like they're known as the Arkansas Little Rock Trojans in this game. Arkansas Little Rock would later rebrand all their sports teams to the Little Rock Trojans. So this is after the game is released. So Little Rock Trojans and Arkansas Little Rock Trojans are the same team. So and there we go. We're up by one. So this is an in-season tournament because, like soccer, college basketball has in-season tournaments. Like if you're living overseas, like you want to know what college is. College means the same thing as university in the U.S. I know in college and university may mean different things in different countries, but in the United States, college and university are the same thing. It's used interchangeably, so. Keys with basket right there, so that's good. This might be my first NCAA Basketball 10 video on my YouTube channel, but I have played this game before, so. A lot, so. It is tied up at 7 now. I can make threes too, you know. But that is, Zandet is the created player. He's the only person in this game that's not based off of a real person. So. We are up by 5 now, so. Oh, Keyes and Zandet have actually scored on the points. It wasn't intentionally like that. I didn't make it intentional, but I did. If I remember correctly, the stadium we're playing in, the Coliseo de Puerto Rico, hosted a several WWE televised events. Like it hosted a New Year's Revolution, I think in 2005. It's a WWE pay-per-view, former WWE pay-per-view. And it hosted an episode of SmackDown last year and Backlash last year as well, the WWE pay-per-view, so. It was good defense. For a second I thought he had actually blocked it, but I was wrong. Dang it. Since it's the first game of the season, I have one player that is on the bench, like as a reserve, that I can't bring in, so. But I do want to score with everyone else, and I'll play that player in next game. So, like, I meant to redshirt everyone on the reserves, because you're only allowed to have 12 players. Any more than that, and you're only allowed to have 12 players playing a game. Any more than that, and they can't play in a game, so. Ah, shoot. So I may have to take McRae out for now, so. But I do want all of my players to score at least one game, and then I have one player that I'm redshirting, which means they're still going to have eligibility, but they're just not going to play any games, so. There we go. Now we can bring McRae out. Substitutions. So McRae, we have him. We can switch with Haywood. Let's bring in Hinton as well for keys. I'm gonna keep Zanded in the game. Goaltending. That's good for us. Can't block the shot if it's on the way down. That worked out well for us, so. Really, Zanded and Power are the only ones that have scored, that are in the game. Everyone else that scored are on the bench, so. Was it Powell or was it Lewis? So Stats Central, Player Stats. Is Powell. Alright, that's good to know. I didn't want to have to wait for to the second game for either Lewis and Powell to score as we turn it over there, so I'd rather like to avoid turnovers, but the stadium hosts the score. Oh, we turned it over, so the stadium has hosted some college basketball games. Ah, shoot, we missed. There we go, we scored with Hinton, so. Oh, we turned it over. That's not where I wanted to pass, but okay. But you know what, as long as we maintain the lead, that'll be good, so. Forget, has Hayward, was it Hayward or Hinton? It's not Hayward, so it must have been Hinton that scored. As we get Lewis now. So we can take out Lewis and Powell and Hinton. So Hinton, we're gonna have. Actually, we're gonna have Beasley come in. We're gonna have Haley come in for Lewis, and then Powell can come out for Holloway, or not Holloway, Galloway. And then Anderson and Malloy will be the last two players we sub in from the bench that have not played. So foul, so that's unfortunate. But oh well, so. It's a shame they don't make college basketball games anymore. Second foul, that's not good. So, let's not try to steal Zanda, the created player. So, yeah, it's a shame that college basketball games aren't being made anymore. Because growing up, you know, when I first started playing video games, I really loved the Pokemon games and Yu-Gi-Oh! But when I became like a teenager, or as I became older, like as a preteen and then a teenager, okay, now he has to come out, because The first two are my fault, that one wasn't, so we're gonna have to put in Anderson now. So yeah, I was like 10 years old when I played my first sports game, and I got into sports games. I loved NBA Live. You know, I loved playing that on the Wii, which is a shame they no longer make NBA Live games anymore. EA doesn't, and NCAA basketball were games I liked on the PS2. And the Madden games, which are still being made. I like Madden, don't get me wrong, it's just it's not like they don't really change much. At least in the modes I enjoy playing. EA doesn't really. Like the face of the franchise mode was introduced, but they really haven't changed it that much over the past couple of years, if at all, so. I mean, who has scored? So, Haley, Galloway, Anderson, and Malloy have not scored. Oh, that's off. Dang it. So yeah, they still make Madden, but they don't really change it that much anymore. Oh shoot, we turned it over there, so that's not good. Yeah, I like NCAA football. I'm glad they started making college football games again. So it's nice to have it back. I really can't complain about EA Sports College Football 25. Maybe the difficulty on the second lowest, but maybe it's just because I suck at video games. But 2K is another one they don't really like. They used to have like more story based 2K games for the My Career, which I play My Career a lot, but yeah, 2K they do make changes for NBA 2K. I'll admit that. Madden they have made changes, but it's like it's not in terms of like the gameplay or the quality of the gameplay I should say is changed. So like franchise mode and face of the franchise are more or less the same, in my opinion. So I mean maybe they changed like I know the players and maybe the playbooks changed, but the franchise is more or less same old. So my careers, you know, they don't really do story based my career game modes anymore. So in NBA 2K. At least not on the Xbox One. Oh, let's see. Their stats. It's just Malloy and Haley have not scored, so take Galloway out for Zandet now. Because we're struggling to score now. Relatively close game in my opinion, but again we're just putting Zandet in, but I mean, NCAA football was more or less the same throughout. Like, they added, the road to glory in the later game modes, but and in Dynasty mode they actually added the school and NCAA records, which I like seeing. So, but I guess I criticize sports games and the developers, but I guess at the same time it's kind of hard to innovate every year. You know, so it's kind of like hard to innovate. So. Ah, couldn't make the shot with Haley. So, Hayward's the only one that hasn't scored yet. I think what I like to do is like at least for the career mode, make it a little bit more story based. Maybe like like I remember in the older NBA 2Ks, at least for like 2K18, 2K19, they and maybe like 2K one of the 2K20s, which is actually pretty recent. They it was more story based. Like maybe like one of them you had a rival in them, and they wrote the rival as a very good villain that you really wanted to beat in the NBA. So, and I know that in Madden you could actually, at least in the older Maddens, released like Madden NFL 06, 07, 08. I remember a fun off-season activity they would do is in the superstar mode is like they'd have like you try out for like movies. So like more in the off season, but that'd just more or less be about it. So we missed the three there. So remind me, has everyone scored now? Malloy has not. So and Malloy can come in for Anderson, and then McCray can actually come in for Hayward. Beasley can come out for Keys now. So those are the substitutions we'll definitely make at next break in action, whether it be a timeout or foul. But yeah. I guess at least for the 360, there were at least for the sports games, there were at least some limitations into what you could do compared to the Xbox One and Xbox Series S or X. So like, especially when it was like Madden NFL 06 or NBA Live 06 or NBA 2K6 or especially the older games, I'm more understandable because for the technology. So. In terms of like the sports games and what you can do with them. So there we go. Everyone score now. Confirm. Yes, everyone has scored. Everyone that's played has scored. So let's have Galloway come out for Lewis. And we can put in Powell later on to get some minutes since he's a starter. but it would be cool, like, like Madden. They used to, like, I don't remember the maybe up until maybe like last year's Madden, they had a for a couple of them they had a really good story. For a couple of years, Madden had a really good stories, like the long shot in Madden NFL 18 and 19, I think, and then I think it was 22 or 23. They had a really good story mode for career, but it's like once you make my only issue is with the like story mode in EA is like once you make the NFL, it really stopped being like a story, and your actions really stopped affecting. So it'd be kind of like cool to see like your different scenarios play out and throughout your career, and how your actions like will affect the team, whatever team you play on. So, but I suppose to be fair to like the developers and the game companies, I'm sure to get maybe like it would not be easy to pay like the players during the off season, and for like their asking price, and the all these different actors, and the payment for like paying all the different actors and like celebrities and NBA players, you know, and coaches, just to act in for the story is every year must cost some money, and to pay, every to pay your employees to do all those extra stuff. So that's oh shoot, I thought that would go in, but I also thought that'd be goaltending. So I can kind of understand why they wouldn't do it, but also it'd be kind of cool to at least at the very least, maybe they can get some lesser known actors and or at least up and coming actors to voice roles, to at least where you can make it to the end, to like if you're playing 2K, you can at least play at least voice some, get a couple of what should I say, the sports game, get a couple of celebrities to voice a couple of characters for your characters, and then yeah, for whatever sport you're playing, to get at least a couple of celebrities to voice the characters, and then we could get a couple of current players or like former players. If like you're playing NFL or NBA, or if you're playing Madden, NFL, or NBA 2K, it'd be cool to get a couple of current and former players to like at least get you advice on your road to the league in the story mode. So I mean, if any, I can understand like maybe like the smaller studios, you know, not doing that because it's gonna be, it may not be, it's maybe too expensive for them, and but I'm sure Take Two Interactive and EA can actually meet the asking price. So and there's also on the side note at the time, because with the players and coaches, you'd have to at least record the lines in the at least the active players and coaches, you'd have to record the lines in the off season. So it'd be kind of like, it kind of be cool to like be in the play like for like NBA 2K26 if it were to come out next year. Um, it'd be kind of cool to play like a career in my career for that, and you get like you're trying to at least make it to the NBA, or at least maybe in your rookie season with your team, and you get advice from like LeBron James or like Michael Jordan, or um, Pau Gasol, or these different NBA players that are retired legends, or maybe like Greg Popovich, or Victor Wembanyama, you know, Shaq, Charles Barkley. I know you need commentators, so it'd be cool to like for Madden to hear the commentators. I just can't remember the names off the top of my head, but like I know for FIFA as well, it'd be cool to get like they did a story mode for a couple of FIFAs as well, but in the career mode. So like we're playing control of a player and you're trying to make it in a league in Europe. So we missed. So we are up by 16. So surprisingly, he made that. I was not expecting him to make it there because that's so far out, and he had a defender in his face. It was good defense though. Don't get me wrong, but which I guess makes the shot more impressive. So Zandit switch with Malloy, and then Malloy can come out for Powell, and that'll be for the second half. So we're gonna take the final shot. Went in at the buzzer. That's good. At least we got it off before the buzz. I was worried since we were in the double team with Zandit that I wasn't gonna get the shot off because I knew I had to pass. Ah, shoot! I could. Oh, I thought I would steal it at least there. Ah, that's a horrible shot. So we have our starters back in the game, which is good. The Trojans are playing well. I know the women's team, the record may not show it. The record's a bit deceiving for the Little Rock Trojans women's team because they've been playing tough opponents. Like, opponents you know, some of the best teams in the country and in some of the best conferences, so. Which is good that they're playing against them, but also, we couldn't get the win. So it's they tried and they played their best. The ladies did for the Little Rock Trojans women's basketball team, so I'm really happy about that. That they tried. The men's team, 5 wins, 4 losses. I know that off the top of my head. Um, they've had some tough opponents. Unfortunately, we lost to. I think we lost to the men's team lost to our rival Arkansas State. They're our main rival, so we have rivalries with other schools, but Arkansas State's our main rival, and we lost to them. The women's team thankfully beat Arkansas State, so. Yeah, and maybe next year the men and women will beat them, so. 30-point lead against Jacksonville, but then again, I'm playing on the easiest difficulty, and I did struggle a little bit, so. Sure, you would have put this at the hardest difficulty for 20-minute halves, and I would do terribly. as we get the rebound there. That's good. Oh, look at that. .28 lead, so it's a 31 lead now. The largest lead of the game. Gotta be careful with Zandek, because he's our best scorer, and I don't want him to foul out. Granted, we can afford to lose at least one or two players, because we do have a big lead, but at the same time, you never really want to lose any players if they foul out, and it's your best scorer as well. You don't want to lose in case your opponents make a comeback. Alright, sorry about that. I don't know why I went quiet. I really wish they'd make more basketball games, because I know at least when this game came out, you have some teams that are in this game that are no longer Division 1 schools, unfortunately. And you have schools that aren't in Division 1 that are Division 1 now. They weren't in Division 1 when this game came out, but then they became Division 1 later on, like Bellarmine, for example, or Queen's University. Oh, West Georgia, I believe, is Division 1 now. Merrimack is another Division 1 school, and Mercyhurst are Division 1. They weren't at Division. They weren't in Division 1 at the time this game was released. They're in like maybe NAIA or NCAA Division 2 or 3. So, and then you have some schools that are that were in Division 1 at the time that aren't Division 1. I know Centenary College is a Division 1 school at the time this game was released, but they're no longer Division 1. They're in Division 3 now, actually. There are two St. Francis schools in this game. One of them actually just shut down the entire athletic department. So, and then Savannah State dropped to Division 2, and then Hartford, if they're in this game, are not Division 1. They're Division 3 now, so. Sucks that, it sucks that they're Centenary and Hartford Division 3, because they no longer Division 3 and NCAA, they don't offer athletic scholarships to players, which is, it can help a lot of people. It can help some people, getting a free college education. So I'm sure the reason they dropped down is for financial reasons. So Now, on one hand, you want these universities to be open so that people can get an education, but at the same time, you want people to get an affordable education, at least a free education, if possible, whenever possible. So, and then it's a shame that St. Francis school shut down their athletic department because they did it for financial reasons as well. So they, you know, at least colleges in the U.S., universities in the U.S., they can have, if they're NCAA Division One or NCAA Division Two, I know for certain they can actually offer you athletic scholarships. I know Division Three cannot. I know Ivy League schools don't as well offer athletic scholarships. They're the sole exception in Division One. I'm not sure about NAIA or any other, non NCAA Division Three schools, but I know Division One and Two can offer you athletic scholarships aside from Ivy League schools, and the one thing I like about athletic scholarships is that you know, they offer, like, especially students from low income areas, or maybe, from other countries that wouldn't have an access to, like, a good education. They offer those players a chance to get education, and maybe, unfortunately it's a sad fact of life, but a lot of these people, a lot of these players may not get access to they wouldn't have gotten access to education. They wouldn't have been able to afford education, because for financial reasons. So scholarships actually help them get access to education. So without scholarships, you can get them for being good at a sport. You can attend a university for free by playing a sport, whether it be, a sport like soccer or American football or basketball or baseball. Shoot, if you're good at a sport, apply for a scholarship, at an American university. Look up what universities offer scholarships and definitely try to apply for one so you can actually get a good education. Heck, you can even go pro in that sport. I'm gonna make some substitutions really quick. Have McRae come out for Haywood. Malloy can come in for Lewis. Anderson can come in for Powell, and then Keys can come out for Hinton. Why did I shoot from there? I don't mean to shoot from there. I didn't think I'd get the steal, so. We met several people that played sports, that were on the official NCAA Division One sports team for UA Little Rock. Met someone that was on the Division One basketball team for UAPB, UA Pine Bluff, and then another one played for UA Pine Bluff, but they were Division Two at the time. And I know someone that played a Division Two or Division Three basketball for a different school as well. And someone that played Division One basketball at Texas Tech. Two people that played at Texas Tech, and one of them transferred to Arkansas, the University of Arkansas, and the person that transferred to the University of Arkansas went on to play in the NBA, and one of the they played basketball, and then another one I had class with was played at Florida Gulf Coast University in Division One, and then they played at UA Little Rock, and then they went on to play in the NBA as well. I know the one that played at the University of Arkansas Little Rock. Is on a team in Italy in like the highest league, one of the best teams in Italy right now. So I like to see. I'm glad he's playing professionally in Italy, but I like to see him in the NBA because the NBA is the best league. So no disrespect to the Italian Serie A basket league, but I'd like to see him in the NBA. So and then the other guy, I know for sure he last played at the highest league in Israel. So I'm not sure if he's still with the Israeli team. I can understand why he isn't, but due to the ongoing conflict, which I really just hope all the hostages get released and it ends in a as soon as possible with no more lives lost and a peaceful solution. So yeah. I met another NBA player named Joe Johnson. He played for a long time in the NBA. I met him in an airport like 5 years ago. Took a picture with him. It was very cool. And I met someone that played for the UA Little Rock. A couple people that were on the UA Little Rock women's swimming and diving team. And a couple people that were on the or not hockey because they don't have a hockey team, but a couple people that were on the men's and women's golf team as well. So it is currently a 45-point lead. Probably the first time in 5 years I've actually played this game. I last played this, I know, off the top of my head in 2016. Oh gosh, that's actually more than 5 years. So I don't think I played this in 2019, so I could be wrong though. I don't remember the last time I played this. I know I've been seeing March Madness '08. There we go. I like NCAA March Madness '08. Ah, shoot, we have to take him out. He's gonna foul out. So, I mean, the good news is that we can bring him back in if we take him out. The bad news is if he comes back in and fouls, he will foul out and he'll definitely miss the remainder of the game. So to my knowledge, the only sports teams that I do not interact with, at least players that when I class at UA Little Rock were like people on the wrestling team and the volleyball team as well. So, and the women's soccer team. So, would have been cool to have met players on those teams and the baseball team as well. I have been to. I would love to go to a women's UA Little Rock women's soccer game next season, and I've been to a women's volleyball game earlier this year. So I think back in October I went. October, November. I want to go to like the men's and women's basketball game as well, and I've been to a baseball game at Euler, so UA Little Rock. So one of the players I watched, like I watched all the men's and women's basketball games for UA Little Rock, and one of the players I watched last, I think last year, the year before, actually signed with the Orlando Magic G League team. I don't think he signed a two-way contract with Orlando, but he is playing for their G League team. So I didn't know. I did have an online class with someone that played that was at least signed to the Minnesota Timberwolves G League team, but I don't think he played any games for them. And last time I checked, he played in Africa, in Nigeria. So it's kind of cool. The person I class with at UA Little Rock, in-person class, is Ray John Tucker. He plays for Virtuos Bologna in Italy. He played for Venezia last year, but he's in Italy. But now he played. So I know he played for Utah, and he played for I think Denver and Philadelphia as well, off the top of my head. I want to say he played for Minnesota as well. I'm not entirely sure. I know he was signed to the Clippers, Cavs, and Utah, or the Clippers and Cavs organization, but I don't think he played any games for them. He was unfortunately released, and I know he played for Milwaukee and Philadelphia. So he he was on the Milwaukee Bucks G League team, the Wisconsin Herd, and then the person that I knew that played for Arkansas and Texas Tech. I went to middle school with him. His name was Dusty Hannas. He was a year ahead of me in middle school. Played for he played in 8 games for the Memphis Grizzlies. He played 8 games in 2 years for Memphis. So he was on the Memphis Grizzlies G League team, and he signed like 2 different 10-day contracts with Memphis. So it was nice to see someone I know play in the NBA. 2 different people actually, and meet someone also who had played in the NBA. And yeah, he signed 2 different 10-day contracts with Memphis, and he actually got to play in the NBA for Memphis. So yeah, so that's cool. And he played for the Golden State Warriors G League team, but like he wasn't on a two-way contract. So the Santa Cruz Warriors, and then he also played a few games in Greece, a few games in Israel, and he played for a season in Australia as well. And Ray John Tucker played for a season in Australia as well. I did meet a few people that played. I met someone that played NCAA Division 1 football. Like he was like a year or two ahead of me, and he actually tried out a couple of years, some time ago. He actually tried out for the New England Patriots. I think he unfortunately did not make the team, but tried out. I knew the sister of someone who tried out for New England, but as a wide receiver, and he unfortunately did not make the team. And the other guy I met, I think played offensive guard. So and then I had a family member go to school with someone that plays for the New England Patriots, and he played for the Los Angeles Chargers before, so. Patriots aren't going to make the playoffs this year. I think they've been eliminated, so. They just have been struggling, so. Remember the season they went 16-0 in the regular season? The year New England did it. That was. Everyone thought they were going to win the Super Bowl before losing to the New York Giants. In my opinion, the greatest Super Bowl upset ever. Because they actually played the Giants earlier in the season. I think it was week 17, and they beat the Giants, so. I guess the one game they were expected to win, they didn't. The one game. So they would have been like the first. They would have been like the second team ever to actually finish a season and actually win the Super Bowl and finish the season undefeated. And they would have been the first team to go 16-0 and win the Super Bowl, but they failed. So no team in their 16-game regular season has finished 16-0 and won the Super Bowl. You've had a team go 16-0, as I mentioned, but I think the 1972 Dolphins were the last team to finish the season undefeated. So we are playing Yale in our next game. So, tournament brackets for the preseason. We're going to face the winner of Wolford and South Carolina. It's the Puerto Rico tip-off. So all these games are in Puerto Rico. Team statistics, we were 1-0. 1-0 versus non-conference as usual. So we're not ranked in the coaches poll. Media poll 172nd RPI in terms of schedule. We are 323rd. Check out. So let's check out the standings. So sorry for showing any offensive team names and logos. So all the teams here are still Division 1, but not all of them are in, like in the Sun Belt West Coast Conference, are all Division 1, but they may not still be in the same conference. Like Gonzaga is going to join the Pac-12. Arkansas State's still in the Sun Belt. Denver, I think, is in the Summit League now. So all of these teams are still Division 1. They don't have every Division 1 team, though, unfortunately, at the time either. So the SWAC still has every Division 1 team. The Southland still has every Division 1 team. All these teams are still Division 1. Yep. Yeah, SEC has more teams now, but no team has left the SEC to my knowledge. Patriot League, all these teams are D1. Yeah, the Pac-10, as it was known at the time. They now, I think it's Oregon and Washington State, or Oregon State and Washington, or a team from Oregon and Washington. So the Ohio Valley, the Arkansas Little Rock Trojans are in which they're known as this game are part of the Ohio Valley Conference, and all these teams are Division 1. So it's this one, the St. Francis College Terriers. I know they no longer have a Division 1 team because they just lack the financial resources for their Division 1 programs. So these schools are still Division 1. I met someone that played for Indiana State on their basketball team as well, so that's pretty cool. And Missouri Valley and the MEAC Conference are still Division 1. Same with the MAAC. St. Peter's was the first number 15 seed to make it to the Elite 8. That's something. So all these schools are Division 1. All these schools are Division 1 as well. Same with Conference USA, although like a lot of teams change conferences as well. Colonial, yeah. And the Big West, yeah, these schools are Division 1. Big South. Coppin State University, I think. So when I was wondering what that was, Big Sky, these are Division 1. Big East are still Division 1, even though Big East is different teams now. These schools are, I know Big 10 and Big 12 still, added teams, and then some teams switch conferences, but those are Division 1. Same with the ACC. So in the A10, I guess Centenary is not in this game. The American East, all these schools are still Division 1 as well, so. Yeah, WAC, Western Athletic, and WCC are all. Okay, so we're gonna play our game now. So, really quick before, just remember we had another player. They do show sweet. Unlike NCAA March Madness, so this game shows the minutes per game for all the players. So, Porter is going to switch with who? And it's. Yeah. We can give Porter the start over Lewis. Hayward can get the start over Keys just for this game, and then McCray. Actually, we'll switch McCray with Hinton. And we're gonna move these guys here, and then yeah, gonna play against Yale now. The Yale Bulldogs. Tip off. So. Only 2:23, so go for a walk a bit later. Either on 4 or 5, although I'm underdressed for the walk, so. Blake Griffin is on the cover of this game, so it's a very good game in my opinion. I like NCAA basketball 10, so. The semifinals of the Puerto Rico tip-off. We're playing against the Yale Bulldogs. Let me mute my mic really quick.
On the shot clock. Down to the low block. And a shot block.
That was absolutely phenomenal.
And they go into their motion offense, working with 4 around 1 here.
I tell you, the 4 around 1, spacing's a key. You better have good spacing, and you better have people on the interior that can score with their back to the basket. If you got a big guy who can post up inside and who has passing ability, he's going to create opportunities for the guys on the perimeter.
On the outside, he tries the fadeaway. He misses the fadeaway. Swanson has done so many great things on the court. Now he's branded as one of the best seniors in all of college basketball.
Some people say he's the best, Brad. He's a talented senior with no next year to fall back on. All he can do is give it his all until the end of the season.
For the bucket, he gets the bucket to fall. A nice job of getting to the hole right there, Dick.
Well, those aggressive moves to the basket are what this offense is all about.
Puts up the jumper, plus the J.
Ah, shoot, I just turned off my mic by accident. Sorry about that. So we are up by 1 now, so. Let me play a few games on this difficulty before actually changing it, so. So if we can get an assist with Hinton, which we did. Alright, Porter finally scored in his first game. Hinton's averaging 4 assists. Powell's averaging 1. Hayward's averaging 1. Zandit's averaging 6. Ooh, 7 assists for Jermaine Keys. 15 points for Tyson Lewis, wow. And 12 points for Jermaine Keys, so. You have 3 players at least averaging double figures, so. 7 points, 2 assists ain't bad. Yeah, we have 3 players in that got into double digits last game, and I guess unless they get into at least close to double digits this game, they won't be. Because I know one of them was averaging 15 points entering this game based off the first game we played, so they'd have to get like 5 points to be averaging double digits after this game, and the other one would have to get like 8, and then. Zandit actually didn't have to score in this game, and he'd be averaging, still be averaging double digits in points. So we don't have anyone averaging a double-double yet, but I'm sure I can make that happen. So easiest way to do is to have maybe the power forwards, since we don't have like an official center. Power forwards would probably have to average points and rebounds, whereas the small forwards could probably do it with either points or assists, and the guards would have to definitely do it with points and assists, because I don't really see the guards getting very many rebounds. I think I could be wrong, but like it's rare for like guards to get like a ton of rebounds. I think guys like Russell Westbrook are the exception, not the average. And it's like rare for like power forwards and centers to be leading the league in assists or like get like average like 10 assists per game. But again, Jokic is another one who's like a center. Is capable of getting a ton of assists, so that's unusual. It's unusual for guards to get the rebound, because like shooting guards are mainly there to shoot. Point guards are mainly there to run the offense and to shoot as well and pass. Like you'd expect the point guards to be the ones to getting a ton of assists, and like the centers to be getting a ton of rebounds. Like I'd imagine that small forwards are similar to forwards, but they're similar to power forwards, but they're more offensive minded, whereas power forwards are more defensive minded of the forwards, and they're also a bit more likely to get assists, or not assists, rebounds. So, but you're looking, at least with the NBA, you're looking at more and more positionless basketball. You're seeing a bunch of guys that are like 6'8", 6'9". That can really handle the ball well. And guys like as tall as Anthony Davis, who's like 6'11", he can actually dribble, and he's a good ball handler. But I read somewhere that he actually had a growth spurt. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but or heard somewhere. But you know, he is a very talented shooter and ball handler, and you really didn't see that in the past with centers. Like centers would lead the league in scoring, like in the early days of the NBA, from the early days maybe to like maybe from like the 50s to like the from the beginning of the NBA to like maybe at least in the 80s is when they started, not 90s. See more guards, but you would actually. That's mainly because they shot the most, not because they were necessarily the best shooters. So let's have if Haley come on, let's have Beasley. And then let's have Howell come out for McRae, and then Galloway. Yeah, we switch it like that. So. Alright, Zandet's 4, so he'll be averaging like 5 assists per game and like 25 or something and a half points. 22 and a half points probably. So yeah. Shot display, so mute my mic really quick. Hold on. Sorry about that. So yeah, you're starting to see more positionless basketball. You can definitely, within the last 10, 15 years, you can see, a lot of big guys, really shoot well. Like a lot of tall guys. Like Dirk Nowitzki was like among the first, I'd imagine, really tall power forwards and centers that can shoot a lot of threes and shoot the 3-point shot very well. Yeah, he was like among the first, I think. Maybe not the first, but among the first. So. Then you have, I know Victor Wembanyama, who's 7'5", who should not be making the shots he makes or playing the way he does, but he is playing better than a lot of people his size tend to play. And I know hold on. I know, let's see, let's also try and get past. Because, like, I know a lot of his guys a lot of guys Wembanyama's size don't really tend to have a lot of lengthy careers. In the NBA, they tend to be a bit slower. And then they also, than most people there, most of the shorter NBA players, they tend to be very good blockers and rebounders. They tend to be very good at blocking shots and rebounding due to their height, but they also tend to be a bit slower, and they tend to also get a lot more injuries as well. So, you think of Yao Ming, who was a very dominant center in his own right for much of his career, but unfortunately he had some foot issues that ended his career. So, that's rather unfortunate. So. But I could easily see Yao Ming. It's really a shame that Yao Ming never won an NBA championship because he was really talented. And I could see him had he, not had those foot issues, those health issues. Because I think what kept him out every year was like a broken foot, so if I remember correctly. So I remember he could easily be one of the best shot blockers in NBA history. And he could have easily. I think he could have he's gone close to the NBA record for career blocks, if not setting the record, had he stayed healthy. But it just wasn't meant to be. So Victor Wembanyama, I can see setting the career record for block shots, but I think he has to stay healthy as well. So, but I can see him if he's healthy, I can see him being close to the 3-point record and the career scoring record as well, because he's such a good shooter and he's so tall that it's fairly easy to block a lot of players' shots. So I think block wise, he'll be close to breaking the career record if he doesn't set it. Cameron Haley with the foul there. So. This is our second game of the season, so. I know LeBron James is the career scoring record. I watched the game where he beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. So I watched it on TV. It was I think in Oklahoma, and it was against the Thunder, but it was I think either in Oklahoma City or in Los Angeles. But I remember watching the game, so that's pretty cool. So. Go ahead and make a substitution. Have Beasley come out for Keys now. Let's have Lewis come in for Galloway. There we go, we made a shot, so Beasley has 7 points now, so. It's 22.5 points for Zanded, had he stayed at 5 points, but that's incorrect. 22.5 would be 45 points, so it'd be maybe 27.5 if my math is correct, so. I'm not very good at math, so feel free to correct me on that, so. Ah, shoot, we turned it over. So we have one win so far this season, which y'all saw, and that was against Jacksonville. Jacksonville University, so. They're based in Florida. I know the state I live in also has a Jacksonville, but it's not Florida, so. Ah, dang it, I turned it over, so. Let's look at stats. So Zanded has 9. So 15 divided by 2 would be 7.5. So that's how many assists he's averaging a game. So he needs 5 more assists to actually. Ah, dang it. 5 more assists to actually. What's the word? Average a double-double. And that's just in his second game. Although I could have actually gotten more assists with him, but I didn't. In the first game, I mean. That's going to be a miss for Keys, so. Alright, that's a foul, unfortunately, so. I wonder what jobs outside of teaching you can get with a degree in sociology. Outside of maybe teaching and, academic writing. That'd be kind of interesting to figure out. I know philosophy, a lot of people say I've heard people say it's not a useful degree. Can be a useful, outside of writing, and maybe teaching, I don't know how you would actually use philosophy outside of maybe writing for books and textbooks, or using it for fiction, or using it for fiction books, or or maybe teaching. I wonder what other jobs you get as a philosopher, or with a philosophy degree. And same with sociology. I turn it over there. I know with mass communication, which was that I got, you can make films, you can basically work on film sets, or work in post-production. Editing videos, or, editing films, or just editing television shows, or news reels, or just working for news, or, just editing videos, or whether it be music videos, or just, commercials, or working for different companies, editing different stuff in the media department, or for university. You can also teach as well. So, but, it's not, film isn't exactly a stable job. Because it's stable once you make it. You can actually, but you have to invest a lot of money into it, and it's not necessarily stable going into it. Whereas news is more so stable. With a journalism degree. But it's kind of hard to come by with those jobs, I'd say. So, in journalism or mass communication, and working for a newspaper or magazine is harder to come by, because newspapers and magazine, I know for sure newspapers are declining, so I'm not sure about, I'd imagine magazines are, newspapers are mainly going online. Heck, working in television may be hard to do, because most people are switching to streaming, so, in terms of news, so. Then I know being a journalist or working in news isn't always the safest job as well. So, really it depends on where you work, and I need to see who has not played this game yet, so. Anderson is really the only one that hasn't played. Actually have keys. Unless McCray come out for Haywood. And Anderson can come in for Zandet. So those will be at the next. So one more assist for Zandet before he's averaging a double-double. So I'd imagine maybe working as a journalist in the US, for a local journalist would be a heck of a lot safer, working in your local hometown than maybe working as a war correspondent in, say, a place like Sudan or Iraq or Afghanistan or Yemen. Of course, maybe working in like, depending on how dangerous the city is as well. So in the U.S., like I'm sure working in like, as a news correspondent in Chicago may be a lot more dangerous than, say, more rural area of the U.S. due to the amount of crime in Chicago. So, unfortunately, but the city I live in is consistently ranked as one of the more dangerous cities, so, to live in. But I think, at least for the city I live in, it's just you really have to know where to avoid. So, yeah, I'd imagine Syria isn't exactly the easiest, safest place to go to. It's a lot more dangerous than where I live, so. I'd imagine being a journalist in North Korea is kind of dangerous, but for different reasons, because you have to deal with a lot of censorship in North Korea and China. So, you have to do basically what the government says there, and, another freaking bot that showed up in my chat. To add them to, at least I'll, ban them later. I just added them to my block list on Restream.io, so. At least they're on Kick, so. I haven't really come up across like a scam or a bot on Twitch in the last couple of streams, but just now more so Kick, so it's very annoying. Like, I get why people will use like Stream Elements and MooBot and Kickbot and Nightbot, to promote their social medias, but no one asked for these bots to come in to offer like different things for money or, stuff like that, where you have to pay for stuff, or advertise, or like these scammers are advertising their discords, with tips, and they know dang well that they're just trying to get money from people, so. Ah, shoot, we turned it over there, so that was a bad pass. Trying to pass it to Haywood, the center. I can leave this lineup at least for the remainder of the second, or at least the remainder of the first half, I should say, not the second half, so. Anyway. I've seen like different. Oh, did we foul? I think we fouled them, so. Nope. Out of bounds. Actually, so. Yes, we got a shot in with Hayward, sir. Maybe after like a minute or two in the second half, I will actually make some substitutions. So. So yeah, at least at the time prior to EA Sports College Football 25 coming out, the NCAA had a ruling where they wouldn't like pay the college athletes. Schools can't, and the NCAA wouldn't. So they can use their likeness in video games, but they can't pay the athletes, which I think is a bit unfair at the time. So like a lot of these players, like their names, their background information, their likenesses are used in video games, but they weren't really getting compensated for it. So I mean, there's an argument to be saying that these the student athletes were getting, free housing and free education, but at the same time, especially these athletes could be earning billions of dollars for these schools, millions of dollars for certain. So they are, in a sense, the schools are getting at a loss. The schools are getting a loss by giving these players free education, but at the same time, these players are generating. So there's definitely an argument saying that I can, before the oh gosh, there was I don't remember the lawsuit, but it was like Charles O'Bannon versus the NCAA, I think, and over the video game likeness that ended the NCAA basketball. I'm not sure what the proper thing was, but I could see the argument saying that these schools are compensating the student athletes for using their likeness, because they're essentially giving them free housing and free meals with athletic scholarship. And so in a way they are. But I can also see the student athletes argument that they're kind of using the athletes. These athletes are going to school for to play sport and get an education, so they're generating billions of dollars for the NCAA and millions of dollars for their school. So they should, by playing a sport, so they should at least get some. There's an argument there to be made of like what's fair compensation for the athletes and what's not, and how much the schools in the NCAA should allow as what's fair compensation for like the schools and the athletes school with the NIL. So there's an argument to be made. So I'm sure if I was generating millions of dollars for, yes, free housing and free meals for 4 years are nice. But at the same time, if my name, image, and likeness are being used long after those 4 years of college, or at 4 to 5 years of college, and they're long after they're being used after my years in college for free housing and free meals, basically free housing, paying for that sort of stuff, free education long after that's expired. I say free meals, but I actually don't know if the meals are free or not, but if my image and likeness are like, okay, I can understand, the free education and the free housing for and the free meals if those are actually covered in my scholarship. So let's put in Anderson, and then McRae can come in for Haywood. So I can understand for if that's fair compensation for the 4 or 5 years I'm there as a student, or however long I'm there as a student and I'm on the team. But maybe after I leave NCAA, I create this special moment for the team, and that's gonna be using all these highlight reels, and they're earning millions of dollars off of it. Long after I've left college, for a long time after I left college, I should be fairly compensated for that after. So for if I scored like the game-winning touchdown or the game-winning goal in a soccer game, or my likeness is being used in a documentary, and like it's like basketball and football, the two most popular college sports to watch. So if like I make the game-winning basket in the national championship in a basketball game, or I can make the game-winning touchdown in a national championship to bring my school in a very close game, and I bring my school to national championship, for example, that's being used 10, 20, 30 years after I've left college, and the school is earning millions of dollars off of that, you know, and I'm not drawing a dime. Yeah, I can understand why Charles O'Bannon and a lot of these players sued the NCAA for using their name, image, and likeness when they weren't earning a single penny off of it. So I think that's kind of unfair. If like when EA was making the NCAA basketball series and they were using all these historic teams from the past, some of these schools were being, some of these players, their name, image, and likeness were being used like 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 years, more than 40 years after they left college. And okay, yeah, I can understand, you have to house these student athletes, you have to feed these student athletes, you have to, make sure they're there for practice, and the education is free, so I can understand while they're at college, the time they're at college, that's fair compensation. But, video games weren't really mainstream and were barely around. They were in the 60s. There were video games, not that many, maybe like one or two. By the time Charles O'Bannon was playing for UCLA in the 90s, when his historic UCLA championship team was being used in NCAA Basketball 10, video games were in their infancy. Really, they were just maybe mainstream for about a decade, but maybe not widespread. The home console was maybe just about in its infancy and its popularity, so it's not as popular as it is now 30 years later. But when NCAA Basketball 10 came out in 2009, Charles O'Bannon, whose likeness, when he sued the NCAA, his likeness was used in the game, and that was 14 years after he left college, 14 years after he graduated or left, when he entered the NBA draft. So his you hold on. Yeah, 14 years after 14 years after he left the NBA draft, or he left college to go to the NBA draft, you can't use, because with the NCAA ruling is that once you turn pro, you're no longer an amateur, so that means you're ineligible to play NCAA sports in whatever sport you go pro in. So Hinton, and then let's put in power for ease as well. Galloway can come out for Lewis. So yeah, after you leave college, after you spend four years of college, at an NCAA school, you're no longer eligible for NCAA. So there's no argument, or if you go pro after how many every years, and you're no longer eligible to play for in a sport. So there's no argument that, oh, the school is giving him an athletic scholarship to play basketball. You know, they're providing all these free things for him. Free education, they're losing out on money. No, there's no argument over that because he went professional. He lost his eligibility when he went professional if he entered early. So, you know, and then there's 14 years, like, he's no longer an official player. He can't really get a free education off of basketball. So, to use his lightness without fairly compensating him, I think is unfair. So, I just wish they, you know, made NCAA basketball games still, and, you know, they gave the proper compensation to all the past and present players that are being used. So, what I like about NCAA football or EA Sports College Football 25 is that the players can opt in and have their likenesses used. And so, like, actually, where you're getting like the players that are, which is kind of understandable because there are like several thousand Division One football players for EA Sports College Football 25. So what EA did is like they given them $600 and a free copy of the game. I presume a console of their choosing. So I think that is a fair deal because EA, $600. Okay, if it was for a select amount, yeah, I think it'd be more. But there's like several thousand athletes, several thousand college football players they have to include in the game. So I can understand why it's at $600 because that will add up for EA. So, for those that opted into the game, so I know if I was playing and I had the chance, I would definitely opt into the game. One, it would give me $600. I get paid to be in a video game, and I get a free copy of a video game because I'm an avid gamer, and I'd always love like for me to be in a video game where there. So I regret not at least trying harder to go pro in a sport, and, you know, at least college, at least in high school and middle school and elementary. I did play in like middle school and elementary school and for like a year in high school. But I regret not like really trying my hardest to get good at a sport and see if I could see if I had the talent to go pro. Even if I wouldn't have made it, I still would have liked to try. That's one of my regrets. It's not my biggest regret, but it's one of my regrets. Growing up, is like I would have loved to see if I like develop my skill at, you know, soccer and basketball and baseball, and I would love to see if I could have made it pro in those sports. But, you know, it's not impossible for me or anyone. It's just unlikely. It's like my talent in those sports is significantly below those playing in the worst leagues, let alone the best. So, it's pretty much the odds of me making to the NBA are next to nothing. If not at zero, it's close to zero. This the closest way I can be in a. The only way I can be in a video game is actually being a coach, but I'd have to. I don't necessarily mind being a coach. I have to figure out a path of how to get started, or just like become a professional wrestler and make it to like WWE or AEW, which. I guess the only really thing stopping me is really money to pay to go to wrestling school, so. That and maybe head trauma. And after that, once I pay for the wrestling school and, eventually graduate, just becoming good enough. So, that or, just trying out like boxing or MMA or something like that. But again, other than maybe just trying to be trained and head trauma, and my biggest concern is like I've thought, like, I'm a huge professional wrestling fan. I've thought it'd be pretty cool to be a wrestler. So my biggest worry is if I had the money to become a professional wrestler, to try out for wrestling school. Other than making sure I can do all the moves, is being physically fit enough, and then to do all the moves is like the head trauma. So. And, outside of, paying to be trained and actually making sure I can actually do all the moves and what's necessary for at least the physical aspect of it, so. Oh, well. I met people who have been in sports video games. I mentioned the 3 NBA players. I met Joe Johnson's been in the most. I met him in an airport in my home state. And he's been in, I think, maybe since for a period from 2000 to maybe at the latest 2020. Maybe not every game, but at least vast majority of NBA games. So. Let me turn off my mic.
Oh, what a strip, Red.
Now looking to attack. Now trying to feed the low block for the bucket. He makes the shot. Goes up with it. Can't connect. About 6 minutes remaining in the game clock. For more NCAA basketball coverage. The Trojans are out in front as we head into the timeout.
NFL players or NBA players are significantly less, but they've still been in the NBA 2K games. No NBA live games, though. But really bad.
It'll be interesting to see the level of energy, Dick, when they come out of this timeout.
I played in the NFL for several years. He's been an NFL coach.
Escapes the trap.
Way to attack that trap, young man.
He can't get around the trap.
Hey, Trap's giving that kid some fits.
And come up short.
Keep him cold for the rest of the game.
Moving it around the perimeter.
The chance, I know the NCAA football game I did. No, actually, no. I met someone whose likeness is using my NCAA basketball game. Anyway.
Goes up for two. Off the glass and no good. Haley handles the pass. Had a momentary look from three-point land. He throws it up from downtown. Busts the J. We're at the 5-minute mark. Nothing but joy and delight in the stands right now. These fans realize that this game is out of reach, Dick.
That's what the fans came to see. Their team win. 5 points, 10 points, 20 points. It doesn't matter.
Can't elude the trap.
Hey, Trap's giving that kid some fits.
Takes the shot. They can't stop this guy, Dick.
Want to give him a try, Brad?
If only my knees weren't aching. working it around the perimeter. He shoots the runner. He doesn't get the hoop. On the wing.
Take a quick look at the player stats. So, Xander has scored 31. He has 20 assists as well.
Isolated on the outside. They're working around the arc, looking for the open jumper. 4 minutes left on the game clock.
The athleticism in some of these kids, Brad, I'll tell you, it's incredible.
Gave it up. Puts up the J. Off the mark. For two. They got it.
But at the same time, I think we want to allow everyone's effort as long as they will as long as possible, because in terms of ads as well.
I think that's his 4th foul, and he's going to have to sit for a while.
No, Brad. Coach has got to be a bit concerned here.
Well, I don't know if there's such a thing as a good foul, but that might have been one right there, Dick.
Hey, Mr. Nessler, I like that type of play. He's saying to the defense, no easy baskets for you. We're going to force you to make shots.
So he'll get an opportunity to change the scoreboard again from the free throw line.
Yeah, he created a foul opportunity.
Misses the free one. And they're catching nothing but iron at the free throw line, Dick.
They're going to catch more than that from their coach if they don't start putting them down, Brad.
Here's a double team. Tries for two. Buried it. On the dribble, gives it up. How about this State Farm moment? Brought to us from our good friends at State Farm.
Excellent spacing. That's so important to a good offensive set. It's even more important to have talented guards like they have.
Yeah, that helps. For the bucket. Knocks it down. Great strength on that drive.
Well, those aggressive moves to the basket are what this offense is all about.
Way out on top, controlling the ball. Puts up the jumper. Busts the jumper. About 2 minutes remaining on the game clock. They go into the low block. Buries it. He cut back door, and the pass was delivered perfectly.
Brad, those are the type of reads you look for in practice.
And the jam. He launches a three. The missed shot. Number 53 gets the ball. Kicks it out. He shoots from the deep corner.
Jumper didn't look pretty, I can tell you that. That baby was ugly.
Pushes it up. Foul charge. Let's take another look at this dunk.
Hey, now that's taking it strong to the hoop. Look at him throw it down.
There's 26 assists now. So.
Gasaway goes to the line for the first time. He hits it.
YouTube's king when it comes to video series.
Free throws go.
You really can't beat YouTube. So.
About a minute remaining in the game clock.
Look at that spacing.
He goes for three. Scorches the net with a J.
to strip him of the basketball. Got a little too fancy. Too much mustard there, baby. That's a good-looking bucket out of the transition, Brad.
Tight D here on the outside. Unloads. Missed the jumper. Porter handles the pass. Gets the J to fall.
There we go. That should be one more assist and Zanda. Well, yeah, one more assist and he'll have 30 assists. So he has nearly as many assists as he does points.
Shot clock is dead. Gave it up.
He's possibly looking to get on this possession.
And a timeout's called. We got a break in the action. Stay tuned for more NCAA basketball coverage. Back to the live action we go.
Okay, I thought he turned it over, but he said he just called timeouts.
He tries the three ball. They can't find the range right now behind the arc.
They should start looking elsewhere. Maybe try and get an easy one inside.
From the corner. Nope.
Good second opportunity. Hustle, baby, hustle.
Yes!
Nails the jumper. Work the perimeter.
Spacing so important. Get 15 to 17 feet apart.
He shoots from downtown. Off the mark. That about wraps it up. We're all set for the finals. We hope you'll join us as we wait and see who will take this.
Right now, so.
And let's take a look at our players of the game.
Hey, Brad, when you play well and lead your team to a victory, it's a terrific feeling.
Rebounds away from both a triple and a quadruple double if you wanted to get both, but shoot. We were close. Oh, actually I said South Carolina. It's actually Santa Clara University, so. Santa Clara Broncos, so. I think what I'll do is I'm going to actually hop off here and go for a walk before it gets a bit too late and too cold. So we are still unranked in the coaches poll. Top 25 for the media, coaches, and RPI. So the media poll, not in the top 25. Coaches poll, we're unranked, and in RPI, we're not in the top 25. So, best places to play. Again, sorry for showing any offensive team names and logos. Division 1 leaders. So my guy Zandit's leading in points with 40.5 points per game. Granted, it's only 2 games, so. Rebounds, we don't have anyone in the top 10. Assists, we actually have someone in the top 10. Zandit's leading with 18. Oh, if Cameron Kahn had played 2 games instead of 3 and gotten the same amount, he'd be tied for first with me, but. Steals, Zandit's averaging at 5.5, so he's in first. Blocks, we don't have anyone in the top 10. Well, percentage, we have actually 2 people in the top 10. We have Beasley and Malloy, both at 80%. It's pretty cool. So 3 points attempted, Malloy with 4, but percentage-wise, he's in the top 10 at 75%. So free throw, no. So Sunbelt, at least for Sunbelt. Yeah, we should have someone at least in the top for steals, points, and whatever, so. Assists, yeah. And steals, yeah. We don't have anyone in the top. Oh, assists, Keys has actually averaging 6. So rebounds, we have someone in the top 10. Points, someone leading. And then blocks, we don't have anyone leading in blocks. And then field goals attempted, we have a lot of, at least 7 of the 10 players. 3-point percentage, we actually have 2, 3 players in the top 10. Free throws, we don't have anyone. I don't think we have had I don't think we have anyone in the top. Has anyone attempted a... Has anyone attempted? Free throw? Yeah, no one's attempted a free throw, so... I know I have him as a red shirt. But let's have... Oh, he's not going to play this season, so... His roster... Okay, so... Yeah. So I was gonna have him remove the red shirt so we could play him, so... But we can't. So he will play next season, so he's gonna be a redshirt freshman next year, so... Gray... So yeah. To have maybe Hinton on the bench for this one. Hinton is a small forward. So yeah. So we'll have McRae and Beasley. And Keys really as the forward, so... Beasley can actually start for Powell. And Porter can come off the bench. How about for Cameron Haley? And then, National Player of the Year only available after week 2, shoot. His bracketology is not going to be available just yet either. Well, so I'm going to end the stream here and y'all end the video. So thank you all for watching. Deuces. And yeah. So make sure you watch on YouTube. If you're on Kick, it's the same as my YouTube channel. It's the same. My YouTube channel is the same as my Kick channel. If you're on Twitch, here you go. Here are the links. So let me, yeah. So deuces. And if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, I'm still recording. So if you're watching on YouTube and you want to watch me on Kick or Twitch, I should link it in the live chat. It should be, but if it's not, it's in the description down below. Deuces. I don't really have a, by the way, sorry, I know I said deuces. I don't have a set time to actually stream, so make sure you follow me on Twitch and Kick. Bye.